Hello. So I want to share how it was that I became a general teacher of happiness as opposed to a writing teacher, which I was for 25 years. So I'm a tango dancer. That's my passion as a hobby. And one of the people I dance with is a professor of shamanism at Gallatin University in New York. And he, every summer, goes to the Burning Man Festival, which you've probably heard about. And he runs what they call a camp, because each of these people who come and they come with a group of people, they create something called a camp, and they give things away. His camp is a healing camp where people, after they go and have their transformational experiences, which is what Burning Man is about, come to be calmed down and sort of integrate their experiences in his camp. So he dared me to come. He said, "I think you're a healer. I don't think that you're just a writing teacher, and I think you need to come and use your techniques to heal people who are coming out of transformational experiences, like my shaman students." And I'm like, okay, so don't dare me. So I go to Burning Man, and I find myself, on the playa. It's in the desert, and I'm in a dome. It's called Shaman Dome, a 60-foot dome with about 20 other people who are shamanic healers, meaning they have drums and rattles and all kinds of sage and various props. And I'm there with my little pad, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So what happened was that someone brought, the people would come, they'd line up, there were like 100 people waiting, and a greeter would bring each of these people over to someone to be healed. So I was given a young woman who was clearly, I don't know what she'd taken or what she'd done, but she was pretty hysterical. On a scale of 1 to 10, she was a 12. So there I am, writing teacher in the middle of the desert, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So luckily for me, I'd studied Alexander Technique, and I knew a lot about physiognometry, and I realized that when I looked at her, that her head was literally off her shoulders. And I thought, well, it's good to put your head back on your shoulders. Remember, I'm a writer, so all of this, metaphor was coming in. So I sat her down, and I went behind her, and I did a couple of Alexander techniques, and I literally got her head back on her shoulder and told her to breathe, and she went from a 12 to a 6. It was really just a physical connection. I gave her a little shoulder rub, whatever. And then I thought, okay, she's still crying hysterically. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I don't have these rattles and all these props. So I took my little pad, and I put the circle that you use to start the word of the day, and I had her free associate around the circle. We came up with a word. I forgot what it was. And it became clear that the problem she was having was that she'd come to the Burning Man with a boyfriend who had immediately slept with her best friend. And now they were all stuck on the playa together for 2 weeks. So I thought that was a pretty bad problem. So we did a few more words around it, and we talked about empowerment, and she went, and this is why I realized that the word of the day was so powerful. She went, oh my God, my father did this to my mother, and I'm here for transformation. Obviously, I'm acting out an old script that I saw as a child, and I'm not doing it. So she stood up, and she left. And she was no longer crying. She had returned to a state of connectedness. And I ran into her a little later at another event on the playa, and she looked great. She was, made up, nice clothes. And I said, so, wow. And she said, yeah. She said, after I left, having done that word of the day thing, and she actually had the paper, she pulled it out and she waved it at me. I went back and I told that guy to go to another camp and move out. And my girlfriend. And I now have the room that I paid for, and I'm here. It was amazing to me. So I realized that my friend Barnaby was actually right, and that this had a more general application. If you want to hear more amazing stories about how the word of the day has transformed people's lives, stay tuned.